Hail to the Redskin. Go, Redskin.
What's good, people? And I wanted to do a little something different with the channel moving forward, as opposed to only Redskin videos. And so I thought maybe I'd start doing weekly picks. There's only a few weeks left, and then of course we got the playoffs. And then maybe I'll turn it into something like a week-to-week divisional thing in baseball or something. I'm not certain where I'll go with it, but we'll just stick to NFL weekly picks for this week. I realize I already missed the Chargers and the Chiefs game, but what the heck. We'll go ahead and do it anyway. I'm going to try to have the video up before the Texans and Jets game starts. If I don't, you could obviously see which team I thought would win. Anyway, so let's start off with Houston versus the Jets. And to be quite honest with you, the Texans are they're refining what they're doing. They're looking like a really good football team at this point. And the Jets are kind of in a spot where most Jets fans will tell you it's probably time to fire their coach, hire a new staff, and move forward. They have who they want as their quarterback in Sam Darnold, and they are happy with where they are moving forward with him. I think with everything else, they're kind of stuck in neutral. But, the Texans are the second most sacked team in the league, and they really need to do a lot more to protect Deshaun Watson. But I just don't see their defense allowing them to lose this one. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Texans on this one. Second game we got is the Browns versus the Broncos. And Baker Mayfield has played well since Hugh Jackson was fired. And I really look at the Browns and I think to myself, could this team be on the outside just looking in, maybe even make the playoffs? It really makes you wonder how good Cleveland can be. I know Denver has got a really good defense and they want to be able to push the ball down the field with their quarterback. But I don't know, man. Something just levitates me towards picking the Browns this week. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick the Browns over the Broncos. The next game we got here is the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Now, the interesting thing about Green Bay this year with the way that the NFC playoff race has been, which is crazy, the Packers could still make the playoffs. And they still have Aaron Rodgers. Now, granted, not much else could be said that's really good at this point. And they're playing the Bears, and the Bears have a scary, unbelievably good defense and a young, just young talent all over their roster for days. I mean, Chicago's a serious contender for a deep run this year. And I truly believe that. If you watch their games, they don't really give you any other reason to think any different. If my team was contending, which my team is not right now, but if my team was contending, I'd be a little, I wouldn't say scared, but I'd be concerned playing a team like Chicago. I'm going to take the Bears. Next game we have here is Detroit and Buffalo. Now, both of these teams are building towards next year as it is. And the Bills are coming off a loss to the Jets last week. And the real thing to watch in this one will be if Detroit can limit Josh Allen from running the ball and make him one-dimensional and try to make him turn the ball over. Now, one thing Buffalo has been able to do well all season pretty much is play defense. Now, I'm not sure, honestly, which team will win this one. You can flip a coin. I'm going to take the Bills, though. The next game we're going to look at is Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Now, in my opinion, I think Lamar Jackson is just a little bit too much for Tampa's defense. To me, the question is, can Tampa really put points up and make a game out of it? I'm going to take Baltimore. The next game we got is the Cardinals versus the Falcons. And to be quite honest with you, I kind of expected the Cardinals to not be that great this year. I didn't expect them to really go 3-10, but I didn't expect them to do that well. I knew they were going to be rebuilding with a new coach, new quarterback, and such. And I mean, they had Sam Bradford at the beginning of the year. They're trying to get on the right direction. They let him go. Now Atlanta, on the other hand, has just steamrolled right into the Super Bowl at your home field curse. They just haven't looked good this last half of the season at all. Now, to be completely honest with you, if Josh Rosen can keep the turnovers down, this could end up being a decent game in my opinion. Albeit one that means nothing to anyone outside of these two teams. But neither of these teams has anything left to play for. So, I could see some of the fans not even wanting to watch this one. But I'm going to pick the Falcons. Next game we'll look at is Oakland and Cincinnati. Now, in my opinion, if you can stop Joe Mixon, you can beat the Bengals. But I honestly have zero clue who will win this game. I'm completely behind on both of these teams, but I'll take Cincy. The next game I'm going to look at is between the Titans and the Giants. I've looked at this game a couple times, and the way in my brain that this one has to unfold, I mean, the Giants don't have Odell Beckham for the second week in a row. And if Tennessee can establish the run game early on, they're going to be hard to beat. The problem is they don't play well on the road. But to be quite honest with you, the Giants should win this game. If they can find a way to limit Eli's turnovers and be able to hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley all day long, then I can see the Giants winning this game easily. I almost want to just say pick them on this one and not even give an answer, but I'm going to say the Giants. I think the Giants are going to be able to run the ball with Barkley. He's starting to come on like real good here in the second half of the season. The next game I'm going to look at is between the Miami Dolphins and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, both of these teams need to win to stay in the hunt for the playoffs. That's just the way it is. Now, Minnesota, of course, fired their offensive coordinator a few days ago, and now they got a new guy running the offense. That could make things interesting, but in the end, I'm going to take Minnesota on this one. The next game I'm going to look at is between the Redskins and the Jaguars. This game will be about handing the ball off to the running back, especially for the Redskins. I'm not even going to waste time picking this one. Guys, pick them. I have no opinion about who's going to win this. I will make it a thing to when I do these types of videos. I'm not going to pick my team, so you guys can pick that one. The next game I'm going to look at is between the Dallas Cowboys and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Colts have been playing good at the right time this year. Things are winding down, and they're really looking like they could possibly squeak into the playoffs to make some noise. But on the other hand, Dallas has things rolling with Ezekiel Elliott, and now that Cooper is blowing up, I don't really see that stopping. They're getting better each week. I look at the Colts, and they got an okay defense. They play a lot of zone, though. And if Dallas decides to run the ball as much as they should, then I don't really see the Cowboys losing this game. And, the Cowboys been playing great defense as well. I see Andrew Luck throwing at least 2 picks. I'll tell you, the Cowboys will win this game. The next game I'm going to look at is between the Seahawks and the 49ers. Now, this is a good NFC West rivalry between two teams that honestly are on two different paths. If the Niners can get the ball to Kittle early and often, they could make this a decent game. He's an unbelievable piece, I might add. I didn't even know who this cat was just a few weeks ago, but he's pretty good. But more than likely, I think you'll just see Russell Wilson fall back into his normal clock management bliss and just milk the shit out the time of the possession in this one. And Seahawks win. The next game I'm going to look at is between the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brady versus Big Ben. Now, this should be a pretty good ball game. Although I will say, even though it is in Pittsburgh, I will say the Steelers have lost, I believe, 3 straight, and their running back's hurt. James Conner's hurt, and I'm not certain if he'll play. I didn't see an updated injury report. I believe Tom Brady is something like 11-2 or 12-2 against Pittsburgh lifetime. I don't know how much that plays into this one, but with the way these two teams are playing, I'm taking the Patriots in this one. The next game I'm going to look at is the Eagles versus the Rams. Now, the Rams have had their issues over the last few weeks, but Philadelphia's secondary is just a complete mess right now. They're almost as bad off as Washington is in terms of injuries and what it's done to certain positions on the field. You know, as far as going through your first, second, and third string players, you know. The Eagles are on the rope so hard that even Dak Prescott threw for over 400 yards against them last week. You know, and I think the Redskins have proven before in the past that you got to be pretty bad to allow that to happen. I'm going to take the Rams in this one. It's not even a thought, really, to be honest with you. 3 weeks ago, I would have perhaps said the Eagles will make a really good game out of this, but Carson Wentz is out, and the defense is just beat up. Rams will win this one. The last game I'm going to look at is between the Saints and the Panthers. And to be completely honest with you, I think the Panthers are the only team in the league that is playing worse than we are. So I'm not even going to go any further here, and I want to say the Saints win this one. Now, in the future, I'm going to try to keep track of what my record is each week and give a running tally until the end of the season. I realize I'm coming in at the end of the year, but it is what it is. Trying to put out different content on the channel, maybe get a little something different going on. I'm definitely going to do something different for the playoffs, try to mix it up a little bit. But that's all I got for right now. Peace.